This afternoon, we'd like to welcome onto the ring a PBA qualifier from Essex. It's his second time on the portable rink. Former England national triples champion, it is James Rippey. Lovely. James's opponent, this player has won many British Isles and overseas titles. A top Irish player ranked number 13. Please welcome onto the ring, Jonathan Ross. And you have your commentary, Janice Gower.
Very much, Johnny, and here we go with two very exciting games on the cards this afternoon. This one was actually billed as being the highlight game of the first round, with the possible non-seeded player to win. We've already had 3 seeds bite the dust.
Track length 29.5 metres.
And we're only into the 3rd day of this open singles event here. James Rippey, qualifier, versus John Ross. I've been told it'll be quite a loud crowd in here today. James has brought a coach load from his home club. And I also believe the game after, which is Greg Harlow versus Tony Webb. I believe there's a coach load from Tony Webb's club as well. Indoor club for James Rippey, the Falcon Club. Indoor club for Jonathan Ross is Paisley Indoor. Here at the Just 2017 World Indoor Bowls Championship, kindly hosted by Potters Resort. We're with you live on the YouTube in full HD. Got any questions? I'll attempt to answer them for you. If I can't answer them, I'll put them to one of the umpires or one of the directors of the WBT. And if you can't stay with us, remember, all results are on worldbowlstour.tv. But sit back and enjoy a great afternoon's bowls.
On green.
Jonathan Ross, one of the top 16 that's never actually won one of the singles events on the tour circuit.
On green.
James Rippey qualified here last year. Played Nick Brett in the first round. Lost in straight sets, 12-3, 8-4. But he got the hunger to be back here. As I was chatting to somebody just before commentary, getting back here is no mean feat. James has had to go back to the tough English qualifying process. 5-6 games in a day. Top players all trying to get into this World Open Singles Championship. So to do it 2 years on the trot is some feat in itself. Looks close here from John Ross.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
John just having a bit of a think of what length of jack to play. Marker for this game, Tony Hatch. Umpire, Mike Davis.
Jack length 25.5 meters.
And on the shot clock king himself, Tom Weir. Good opener there by John. Good draw player. Won many Irish titles, Jonathan Ross, then chose to move and set up camp in Paisley, settled there, and now in recent years has represented Scotland.
Your ball was 2 foot through.
And John certainly set his stall out here, played this length to perfection with his opening 2 deliveries.
Two rate.
Well, James set up a bit of a shot with his last delivery. Might just elect to try and draw in close. Oh, he's gone for the shot, the timer. Thought he might have played that down the other hand. Gone for cover, John. I just wonder if James might yet chosen to change hand. It's his ball coming into the head on this hand.
Two shots, Jonathan Ross. Set score 3-0 after 2 ends. Jack length 25 metres.
Again, playing a 25-metre jack. It was interesting earlier today in commentary. We were saying a lot of the seeds seem to be going for longer length jacks here this year. Mr. Ross has decided to break the mould. James just reset himself there. He had plenty of time with the shot clock. 30 seconds to deliver his bowl after the last bowl's come to rest. Swoop all the way back in if it's a length. Just overplayed it. Not in a bad home at all. Under the line here, John. He might block James's natural draw up. Yeah, swapping to the forehand. Close here, all on pace.
One green.
Nice little touch on the jack for John, would give him 2 shots. He's in the area. James needs to be careful here. He's holding one.
One shot, James repeat. Set score 3-1 after 3 ends.
Of course, it's great that we've got these First round games covered for you on YouTube now, something that the World Bowls Tour introduced a couple of years back. Prior to that, you would have had to have waited for the BBC coverage, which starts at this event
Jack
next
left
Monday.
27.5 metres.
Strong on with that jack for James. We're trying to improve things all the time for you.
Six inches past.
The questioning from Dylan Stafford on the streaming.
It's one green.
Yes, you'll be able to get all the games on the World Bowls Tour YouTube stream. We use HD cameras that are part of the streaming setup for the first part of the event. And then when the BBC arrive, we're able to take their camera feed to be able to feed you that and their commentary for the remaining of the event. But yes, if you can't get BBC, you can get it on the World Bowls Tour YouTube stream. Every bowl sent on the portable rink.
I fancy it's only one, but it's close.
Neil Weir just asking about my own personal game in the first round of the last 32 of the Open Worlds here. I'm playing Mervyn King at 10 AM on Sunday. And in answer to the question, how can I beat him? I need to put my bowls closer than his. He's a fantastic drawer of the game. He's a good friend as well. I'll certainly be trying my best against him. All a question of trying to get the lead bowls in first. Close here from James. Nice wave to the crowd there. Very vocal.
Two green and a measure.
In answer to the question about YouTube stream and Twitter feed, no, once BBC come in, they do not have access to the stream questions, or rather, I will reword that, they do, but they would not be taking questions like we do in the World Bowls Tour YouTube. So you will not be able to ask your questions like you do at the moment on this format.
One shot, James Rippey.
That's why here at the
Set score
World Bowls Tour
3-2 after
YouTube,
4 innings.
we say if you want any questions answered, now's the time to put them to us. question on the rink speed. No, it isn't. Check daily.
Jack length 28 metres.
When the company that lays the rink has stretched it 3 times at the beginning of the championships, they tell us what their speed is. And then as the week goes on and then into the second week, it's just a question of asking the players what they think the pace is. It's definitely slowed down.
1 bowl short of Jack high.
Got a few comments when several of us have been brave enough to brave 6 o'clock in the morning practices. At 6 o'clock in the morning, it's running lovely. But I don't think we could move games to 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't think the people staying on site here at Potters or your good selves would probably want to be watching at that time of day. Not a bad position from James. He wouldn't want to be short.
Two green.
Yes, thank you, my friend there, Dan McManus, commenting on me not really wanting to play at 6 o'clock. Do you not think I'd be able to get a marker and an umpire for 6 o'clock, Dan? Lots of good questions coming in. John Price, yes, he still does try to qualify.
3 green.
He's currently ranked 18 in the world. He did try to go to the qualifiers and qualify, but failed. It's the thing, if you drop out of the top 16, if you want to get back in, you've got to go to the qualifiers, just like the rest of us, and try and qualify. Thanks, Wild Heart. I will not be commentating on my own game at 10 o'clock Sunday morning. It was mentioned to me, it was suggested that I could perhaps do the commentary while I was playing.
4 green.
I tried a bit in the charity game the other night to do that. But no, you only have to put up with my Lancashire accent for another game here this afternoon. And then I hang up my commentary headphones, and that gives me time to prepare for my own games. I think you might have the joys of Richard Maddison himself taking over as lead commentator
2 shots, James Rugby.
until the BBC come in.
Set score 3-4 after 5 ends. Jack length 27.5 metres.
David P, thanks for the comments about the charity game. Yeah, it was a good fun night to be part of. We raised quite a lot of money on the night. I believe it was near up to £400 since the event. I know on the night we took over 300. Yeah, we got out there to try and raise a few pennies for the Potters charities. James looks on a good line again. Not short. Come to another
Your
good
bowl's
home.
12 inches gap. One green. The gap is 15 inches. The one sat at the back.
Players on the rink at the moment. James
I
Frick
fancy
is
it's
playing
two.
with Aero Grooves. I'm pretty sure John Ross is out there with his Taylor Ace. Question on my bowls. I'm part of the Drake's Pride gang. Most people are electing to play with quite a swingy bowl on the portable rink,
One red.
playing for either swingy professionals or XPs, and that will change as the week goes on and it gets a bit slower.
Timeout called. James has 4 timeouts remaining.
Just overplayed this. Question on which bowls the players are playing. I think I answered as to what the guys are playing with out there. There is a pool of bowls that people can try. Decide
One
which
shot. Jonathan Ross.
bowls best suit the rink. If you see a player, as Jonathan Ross
Set
has
score of
got,
4-4 after
with a
6 ends.
sponsor's patch on their arm, that means they're normally sponsored by a bowls company. So therefore that player will pick the appropriate bowls within that manufacturer's selection.
Jack length 24.5 metres.
All square, playing end 7 of these 9 end sets. We play 2 sets of 9 ends, and if necessary, a 3 end tie break.
Your bowl is, the gap is 20 inches.
Looks good here.
One rate. Your bowl is 20 inches past.
Looks on the wide line again here, James.
Two rate.
Slight change of weight is all that's needed from James Rippey here. Looks in the area.
One rate.
Got to take a time
Time
out
out
here,
call.
yeah.
Jonathan
Clock was
has 4
ticking down
timeouts
then.
remaining.
Don't think he's so happy with that delivery.
One rate.
Fantastic shot there by James Rippey. Perfect result.
4 shots, James Rippey.
Brave bowl, but you saw John Ross's disappointment that he hadn't made
Set
the
score,
trip to
4-8
cover
after
that.
7
James took his chance. Fist pump there shows how much he wanted that shot. Question on the shot clock. We've not had anybody lose a bowl in this event yet.
Jack Lenz,
There were
27.5
several
meters.
at the Scottish International Open back in November. Nice to see James get into this game and really get the crowd going. Not a bad opener either.
10 inches short of jack high.
Good again here. For the crowd there. A lot in this afternoon. Coach loads have come from both James Rippey's club, and the next competitor up is Tony Webb.
One rate.
Body language said James wasn't keen on that bowl, just overplayed it. Questioning on how easy is it to get used to the shot clock from Jen Smith. I do think it puts that added bit of
One rate.
pressure on. I think most players have an idea how long it takes them to get to the mat and deliver a bowl. It's all just a question of subtraction therein from how many seconds you need. Well, urging this on again. We've already had 3 seeds fall at the first hurdle. Mark Dawes lost to Charlie Bence. Andy Thompson, MBE, lost to Graham McKee. And just this morning, Jason Greenslade lost to Neil Furman from the USA. 2 seeds through so far, Stuart Anderson, David Gourlay.
Two shots, Jonathan Ross. Set score 6-8 after 8 ends.
Well, 2 shots behind John Ross with 1 end to play. That 4 was a huge change at end 7 for James Rippey. Certainly put him in the driving seat for the back end of this set. Great start from Jonathan there, considering he needs to count 2. Great picture there of Tony Webb to the left of your screen. He's the next man up. He faces Greg Harlow. Certainly a very supportive crowd in here today. Supportive of both players, of course, but as I mentioned, quite a number from James Rippey's club. Not a bad ball there. Needs to stop John Ross scoring 2 shots or more. Close with this one. Unlucky, John.
1 green.
Again, he'll be happy to just be behind this. Going a bit further than he wanted. Still not a bad home. 1 ball left from John Ross. Needs to score a 2 or a 3. John misses this. I think we might hear the crowd go wild.
Timeout called. Jonathan has 3 timeouts remaining. One shot, and first set, James Rippey.
I had a feeling the crowd might go wild at that point. Their man, James Rippey, has won the first set 9-6. Great start for James, taking the first set in his game in the Just 2017 World Indoor Bowls Championships here at Potters Resort.
28 metres.
Hopefully he can stay with us for the rest of today. Great game coming up after this. Greg Harlow faces Tony Webb. And then tonight at 7:30, Robert Paxton takes on Billy Jackson. Some great bowls all day for you here live on YouTube with the World Bowls Tour YouTube stream. Great reply by John Ross there. He won't want James Rippey to get away from him at the start of the second set. In answer to your question, folks, somebody's put a question on about how many seeds have gone out of the tournament so far. Well, we've only had 5 games played in the open singles, and we've already lost 3 seeds.
Yeah, your ball was Jack high.
It's close again here from John.
2 red.
Well, he knew as soon as he let that go, it was under the line. John can put James under pressure here if he draws another shot in. Close here. Yep, that'll do. Now,
3 red.
James, you're going to be brave. He sure is. Needs to move. Might get his own bowls here.
Four shots, Jonathan Ross.
Well, fantastic start there to the second set.
Jack length 28 metres.
Somebody just asking us about the crowd, and yeah, James Rippey is from the Falcon Club, and apparently there's a coach load in from that club here to support their player. And after this game, there's a player called Anthony Webb playing. Tony Webb, his indoor club is River Rain, and there's a coach load in from there as well. So 2 full coaches of spectators come to support their players. The good friends as well are James and Tony, so both coach loads that are in will be supporting the men in green. John will be disappointed with that. Just needed to get past his own delivery. Good again here from James. He's not letting that four of the first end phase him.
2 green.
Cheeky smile to the crowd there.
Two green. Your last bowl short, the gap is 6 inches. Beg your pardon. Jonathan's last bowl, the gap is 12 inches. No, it's 1/4 of an inch off.
Glad to see one of our WBT umpires getting involved in a very tricky question for me there on the stream about jack weights.
Three shots, James repeat.
Apparently the indoor jack is somewhere between 382 and 453 grams. Thank you very much, Dan.
Jack length 29.5 meters.
One red.
chance for James here. Quite rightly choosing to come and have a look at this. He'll have to use one of his timeouts. It might be worth him having a look down the backhand here. Yep, as his hand just indicated,
Timeout called.
he might be able to get some
James
sort of edge
has
off the
3 timeouts
wing
remaining.
bowl of John Ross's, or even if he gets his own front green bowl, it plants the jack through. Having a look for it. It's very close. He got one away. It's not a bad result.
One red. One shot, Jonathan Ross.
Set score 5-3 after 3 ends.
Johnny just taking a bit of time again over choice of length to play. The shot clock does not come into operation until the first bowl at the end comes to rest. So if you just need to take a bit of a breather, now's the time.
Jack length 25 meters.
Close here from John. Great opener.
4 inches.
This looks under the line. Closer here. Good second bowl that from James.
One red.
Struggling at this end for pace, James, and given John Ross the opportunity to draw another shot about. Don't forget, if you can't stay with us this afternoon, you'll get all the news and results on worldbowlstour.tv, the website. But I think we're in for a cracking afternoon's bowls. Scottish International Open champion Greg Harlow plays Tony Webb next game up. Have you changed your pace, James? That's very good. Very close. Just going to sit out.
One shot, James Ripley.
Well, that was one hell of a last ball from James. Good adjustment on his weight.
Set score 5-4 after 4 ends. Track length 29.5 meters.
Just pulling up short here. James got the opportunity just to adjust his weight. Good again here. Just
Your
overplayed,
bowl
but
is
not
16
bad.
inches short of track high. No, you're holding one.
Urging this on, it looks a very good line.
Two green.
Fantastic to have such a vocal crowd in today. Almost feel we're on hire a crowd, and it'd be nice for them to stay. Good response from Jonathan there.
One
He
green.
wouldn't want to drop a count at this end. Gets a good second bowl in. Green holding 1, that would bring a match all square. First set, of course, already in the bag for James Rippey, 9-6. Can Jonathan Ross just draw to this jack now? Looks under the line.
One shot, James Rippey.
All square.
Set score 5-5 after 5 ends.
Query on the shirts for you. The shirts are new shirts. James has just sent that jack off, easy to do on this surface. Back to the question on shirts. A great view of the shirt there on John Ross. And they are provided by a new supplier. And that's a company called Bowles Trader, Steve Broom. If you contact him on either his website or on Facebook, Steve will let you know where the shirts can be purchased from. You can purchase the red and the green ones. You cannot purchase the black ones. The black ones are for officials only.
Jack length 23.5 meters.
And the funny answer to the question, if anybody asks it, is that we don't want anybody going around impersonating one of our officials. There's only them that gets to wear the black ones. So you can impersonate a bowler, but not an official. Five all, 4 ends to play the second set.
Inches short of jack high. One red.
Just gone right through the gap.
One red.
Just overplayed
One red.
that. Still one red though. Needs to slip past his own bowl here. Like it would have been good for weight if it had just missed his own short bowl. Not easy for John to score another here. Nice little natter there between the Marker and James. One declared.
One shot, Jonathan Ross.
Set score 6-5 after 6 ends.
Well, 3 ends left to play. Feel that John's got to try and win at least a couple of them. It's to take us into a tie break as
Janet,
James
25
Rippey won the
metres.
first set. Great opening bowl there from John.
One yard past, yeah.
I had a question on how many seeds are left in the singles. Well, there are 16 seeds and 3 have already fallen at the first hurdle. So that leaves us with 13 at the moment. One of those includes the gentleman out there under the cosh at the moment, John Ross.
Two and a measure.
Just needs to drift past the short red bowls. Looks close, looks very close. What a great bowl. Under a lot of pressure there, possibly 3 down.
One green.
Your shot. Simple as that. This looks underline and underweight.
One shot, James Rippey.
James wouldn't want it to cause too much damage there to his shot. We'll be happy that the score is
Set
6
score
all.
6-6 after 7 ends.
After 7 ends, 2 ends to play.
Jack length 28.5 metres.
Two good openers from both players there. Urging this on, James. Just going to pull up short. John's coming up early to have a look. Close again, John. Might have just been unlucky yet. Tip the green
green.
bowl closer. Just overplayed this, James. Really wanted to get to that red bowl. Just forced him to overreach it. Took on the jack here from John Ross down the swingy forehand here. Oh, nearly got a result, nearly got onto his red bowl. Now, James, can you adjust and rest on that back red bowl? Somebody asking my opinion on whether there should be a men-only singles. My personal opinion is there shouldn't be a men-only or really ladies-only singles. I'm a firm believer in the fact that all events should be open. It was my dream to qualify for an open WBT event, and I've done that this year. It was one of my career ambitions. But I come from a crown green background where most of the events are open, most of the leagues are open.
Timeout called.
And I think all
Jonathan
events
has
should
2
be open.
timeouts remaining.
Just personal opinion. Well, Jonathan Ross needs to be on target with this. Needs to move. Can he get a result? Got it, perfect.
Two shots, Jonathan Ross.
Well, it looked a possible shot, but to actually be on target and get it, great result for Jonathan
Set
there.
score 8-6 after 8 ends.
2 up, 1 end to play. James only needs to count 2. He won the first set, so he can afford to tie this set, draw it to win the game. Could we have a tie break?
Jack length 25.5 metres.
And that's on half of the starting bowl at this last end of the second set.
One red, 2-inch gap, yours.
Answering Matthew Hyde's question, I think you should put that to the powers that be. The person asked me my opinion is that. I think all events should be open. It's a personal opinion. Well, James, in a bit of trouble again here. Jonathan Ross has played an exceptionally good end. Just finished short.
One red.
Well, not short, Jonathan, there. Again, James just needs to stop. Jonathan's counting 2 shots. Big bowl here. On target, gets one of them away. Well, good result. I think that was a very good result for James. He was looking for the split to get both away, but getting one away means it gives him a chance with his next bowl to take that one out, unless, of course, John can draw
One red.
another shot in here. Knows his own shot bowl will be vulnerable. Might be in the eye line, that, John. Not a bad bowl at all. It's still think James has got 2 seconds here. Needs to counter 2 after this bowl comes to rest, or we go into a tie break. He's got a chance. He was very close with his last delivery. Something similar. Gets a piece of the red bowl. Don't think he likes it.
One shot. Second set. Jonathan Ross. Match tiebreak.
Well, James Rippey won the first set 9-6.
Jonathan won the toss.
John Ross
and given the mat to
has won
James.
the second set 9-6. Well, here we go, folks. 3-end tie break. First player to win 2 ends. Nothing to do with how many shots they score, all on ends counted. Not a bad opener from James, but you would be hoping to be a little bit closer than that. I think John just overreached this as well. Still chances. Don't forget, stick with us for the next game up. Greg Harlow versus Tony Webb. And tonight's game at 7:30 is Rob Paxton versus Billy Jackson. Again, another loose ball from James. Can John make the difference? Better here.
One red.
Good ball in there. Still room. I think
The
John was
shot ball.
hoping that was going to
The
stand
gap
up.
is 10 inches.
Pace of the rink certainly changes out there as the day goes on. I don't know whether he likes that or not. Looks a good line, James. Only takes one bolt. One good bolt can win you a tie-break end. Still room. John
Two
Ross holding the advantage in this first end. Now, let's see what the body language says. It's on a good track. On the nice wide line here. What's the weight like, James? What a great bowl.
One
There
break.
goes wild again. There's a pressure bowl. He's caught with some pressure bowls over this game as James Rippey, but so is this man. Sticking with the backhand. Just has to be in the area here. Get his red ball through. He's got best back as well. Very close. First end, James Rippey.
First end, James Rippey.
Well, if James wins this end, game's over. John Ross wins it, we're going to the last end of a tie break.
Jack length 29.5 meters.
Time for a good lead bowl. Whoever gets the first bowl in on a tie-break end always puts the pressure on their opponent. This isn't a bad start. Reply here from John. Sits down, it's even better. Great bowl.
One red.
World number 13 hanging on in there.
The gap is 4 inches.
Had to battle to get into this tie
5
break.
inches short of Jack High.
Needs to reach with this, I feel.
Sorry, say that again. That one there is 5 inches short.
Marker Tony Hatch just making sure he was giving the correct information there to John Ross, checking which bowl John wanted to know the angle of. Looks close again here. And the great bowls from John Ross there.
2 red.
James has got to try and change something with this bowl. Here we see that runner of Jonathan Ross that just missed.
Timeout called.
Taking James's
James has 2 timeouts
ball
remaining.
out. Got a nice little edge off his own wing bowl here if he can get back to the jack. He obviously feels he can. Good swinging forehand this. Got to be perfect pace for it, very close. Very unlucky, nearly got the perfect
One
result.
red.
I think John Ross will be running for cover here.
Two
James has
red.
got to change something with this bowl. Otherwise, we go into a third end of a tie-break. The rules are slightly different in the
Timeout
third
called.
end.
James has one timeout remaining.
He's not got an easy draw. He might just play a runner here and hope to get a result. He's gone for a very tough drawing line here. Good line, would have to be perfect weight. We've seen him play outstanding shots. What a bowl! What a fantastic bowl by James Rippey there. Looks up to the commentary box, looks over to his crowd. Well, that was amazing. Absolutely outstanding. He's played some huge pressure bowls today.
Timeout called. Jonathan has 2 timeouts remaining.
Well, the number 13 seed has got 1 bowl left.
You had 2.
Can't afford to hit the green bowl because James has got the best back green bowl. There we go, seeing James Rippey's bowl again there. Sits down, nudges the jack to his own green bowl. Couldn't have played that better.
Timeout called. Jonathan has 1 timeout remaining.
Could we see another seed? We've already had 3 go at the first stage. We'll have to ask the crowd to be quiet.
Quiet, please.
This to stay in the Just 2017 World Indoor Bowls Championship. It's on a good track. Can it swing? Can it swing? No, James Rippey wins. Thanks for your company.
Match.
Join
James
us
Rippey.
after the break for Greg
Come on, ladies and
Harlow
gentlemen, show you appreciate James Rippey.
versus Tony Webb. Thanks for your company.
said, please give a fantastic round of applause. No cameraman. I've got to hold it for a minute. That's lovely. Here we go. Right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your second match. We have a PBA European Masters champion, a rising star on the PBA circuit. Please make him feel welcome. From Essex, it's Tony Webb. And Tony's opponent, reigning Scottish International Open champion, former world indoor singles winner, world ranked at number 4, also Potter's ambassador for bowls, it is Greg Harlow! Hand you over to your commentary team of Janice Gower and Karen Murphy. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Johnny, for that lovely introduction, and welcome you all to the Just 2017 World Indoor Bowls Championship, here kindly hosted by Potter's Resort. I can say I'm delighted to be joined in commentary by not only a good friend, but the current ladies world outdoor singles champion, one Karen Murphy. Welcome to Comms, Karen.
Thank you very much, Janice. I'm really happy to be here.
Interesting game here. We've got wall-to-wall crowds for the two men in green this afternoon. James Rippey's just beaten Jonathan Ross, and Tony Webb is now taking on Greg Harlow.
I was certainly up for a cracking game, I think, Janice. I don't know much about Tony, but I certainly have watched Greg before, and from all accounts, Tony's a fantastic player.
Yeah, very, very good singles specialist. I've known him for a number of years. He qualified here by winning one of the tour cards that entitles him to play in all 3 of the ranking events. He won that back in 2016 in May, and he played in the tournament at Perth in November. Good singles player.
Well, that last bowl will certainly calm the nerves for Tony. He's got a busload of people in here, Janice, so I think they're right behind him.
Yeah, I think we'll hear a bit of a vocal crowd. I was saying before, Karen, in the game prior, we could do with higher a crowd. We could do with these in for a while. Greg's on a good track. Struggled in the pairs. Played with Nick Brett.
One green.
Right, struggled.
Greg's bowl is 9 inches short of jack high.
We've not really seen any of the seeds nailing it yet. Stuart Anderson played a good game yesterday, but it's an interesting rink this year, Karen, not just quite performing as it normally does.
Yeah, interesting comment you make, Janice. A lot of the players aren't really nailing it so far in the tournament this year. Just seeming, another extra 2 feet more than you think you need.
Yes, of course. Well, I've got Karen with me. Don't forget, we've got questions on anything you want to ask Karen or myself, or we can put to the World Bowls Tour on the event here. Put them on the chat on the stream, and we will try and answer them for you if they are broadcastable.
One green.
I've been taking a lot of notice which players are playing what hands, depending on the time of day, what bowls they use, left-handed, right-handed. There's a real mix of, hands that players tend to stick with. And it's been a real mix, I have to say. Backhand round the clock, forehand round the
I
clock.
think it's just the one, Gray.
I think in previous years there's been certainly one side of the rink that players in general have favoured, whereas now it does seem to be fairly fair on all four hands. It's just the weight that seems to catch people out. Greg playing aggressive bowl here. Oh, very unlucky not to get one away there.
Interesting
shot,
to note,
Anthony Webb.
Tony's decided to play the forehand away from the commentary box and Greg the backhand. So already we've got two different sides of the rink being played.
Yeah, some of the crowd just coming back in now. They disappeared to get some water in the break. Don't forget, if you can't stay with us, get all the results on worldbowlstour.tv. But hopefully you can stay with Karen and I this afternoon for this good game of bowls that's on the cards.
Jack length, 29 metres, 29.
This was another interesting thing about this game, Karen, I thought, before we started. Most of the seeds have tended to play longer length jacks on the portable, which in previous years has been that they've played the shortened jack. And Greg's one of those that normally goes for a shorter jack. Just wonder if he will do here today against Tony.
Yeah, he certainly does like the shorter ends, and most of the lengths, as you say, the players have been playing sort of between 26 to 29 metres, as far as I could see. So that may suggest that they're getting a better line to the jack on the longer end rather. But yeah, Greg certainly likes the shorter ends, and it'll be interesting to see if he does adopt that tactic.
Not a big correction from Tony, but very good ball. We've had a question in, Karen, from one of our viewers. Neil Weir, I watched you beat Leslie Doig a few weeks back. Congratulations. Where does that rate in your achievements in bowling?
Well, thank you, Neil, for the question.
One red.
It was probably up there with the equal best win I've had, I suppose. It was the second time I was fortunate enough to win the World Singles, and Leslie's a good friend of mine as well, but as far as achievements go, it was, right up there. Thanks, Neil.
Tony just dropping
One red.
short again here. Of course, Greg won the Scottish International Open back in November, carrying an injury that he picked up in his opening game. Quite an amazing achievement and performance to play the whole event with a hobble and
Two
win
red.
it.
Yeah, that's a good effort, isn't it? Well, Tony's in a bit of bother here. He's 3 bowls short of the jack. He's got a good shot on the forehand at the moment. Looking to draw a solid toucher on the forehand.
Down a good track. It's a very swinging forehand, this. You've got to be perfect weight, though, or it'll just hang off.
Well, I don't think Greg will let this opportunity go past Janice. He's too good a player not to add another one here.
Yeah, good chance for a 3.
Got a question from Anne White. Am I the only Australian in the draw, Janice? So in answer to your question, Anne, yes, in the ladies match play and in the mixed pairs. I'm not in the singles draw, and obviously the pairs is near run and one. But there is another Australian man in the open singles draw. He's from Western Australia, and he's just recently arrived at Potters.
And I believe
Three
there's a
shots, Greg
young
Harlow.
lady playing in the under-25s, Karen.
She sure is. Ellen Ryan from Cabramatta Bowling Club, where I play. She's a club mate of mine. She's 19 years old and has accompanied myself over to Potters for the very first time. Hasn't flown any further than 3 hours prior to coming to the UK, so it's taken her all week to get over the flight. But she's a fantastic talent, up and comer. She's in our ladies Australian squad.
Length, 26
And,
metres, 26.
Keeping your eyes and your ears out for young Ellen Ryan from Australia. She's the only girl in the under-25 event too, I believe, Janice, so she's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, we have last year's champion in that, and then 2 qualifiers. Ladies did go to the qualifiers, but 2 men came through that. But that's featured next weekend, so we'll be looking forward to supporting Girl Power and Ellen next week.
There's noticing a lot of the first bowls in all of the matches are just short, and I think, in practice when I've sort of thrown a few down, if you drop your first one short, you're inevitably through with your second one and you're playing unders and overs, because where the rink is still taking a fair bit of line, it's the weight it's just that bit doughy. So, your first bowl obviously in singles is the most important, but even more so on this portable rink.
Yes, I would agree with you there. We've seen a lot of short bowls played over the tournament so far. The rink is slightly slower than when we started the week.
Janice, we've got a good question from Steve Leslie for both of
Great.
us. What was the best bit of coaching advice that you've received as a player?
Go on, I'll let you take that first as you're a coach.
I think for me, a really consistent, effective technique is probably something that I work on and something that I got great advice on when I first started, as Tony draws a great bowl there on
4
this
inches
third
fast
end.
bowl.
But yeah, I work a lot on my technique and my delivery, and I think for me it has to feel the same. It has to be an effective technique that you're able to repeat and get it away well.
Yeah, that was a conversation had when Julie Forrest was playing the other day about delivery. She has quite a bump out of a delivery. And we were talking about it then, Karen. It's all about consistency. If it's a consistent bump, then you're okay. It's just getting that
green.
consistency of delivery. And I think now
The
I've had
gap
a
is
chance
2
to think
inches.
about it. I think the fact that you can only affect your own bowls, you can't do anything about your opponent. In this game, whether we're playing men or women, they've got 4 bowls against your 4 bowls. All you have to do is try and beat those 4 bowls that are against you. Doesn't matter whether you're playing Nick Brett or a qualifier, you're just playing against 4 bowls when you're out there.
Yeah, that's right. I think, for me, I think it's got to feel the same. Your technique has to feel the same, and everyone knows when they first let their bowl go, straight away, whether it's good or not. It's, but being able to repeat that effective technique is what Julie does. It's not, it's not probably the best technique that I would say, okay, try and repeat that, but she does it the same every time, and that's why she's had so much success. She's been a fantastic player for Scotland.
And we're talking about that when probably one of the most smooth deliveries in the top 16 is actually out on the rink. Greg Harlow, pendulum delivery, very smooth, very consistent. Not only holding shot here. There's one of the questions we actually got asked earlier, Karen, that about coaching. Came from somebody that played tennis, and they said they didn't hear much talk about players in bowls having coaches.
One shot, Anthony Webb.
I answered it from the English point of view, that I think I personally have a coach. I
Set
approached
scores,
them
3-2,
myself, and I've now
after
got
3
a
innings.
personal trainer as well as a life and bowls coach. But that was my personal decision to take that step to try and improve myself. In Australia, it's quite key to have a decent coach, and it's recommended, really.
Oh, definitely. You know, a personal coach as far as improving your game, giving you a
Jack
really
Lake
good
for
training
27
program
metres,
and
27.
looking to improve on your skills, yes. But then you've got on-green coaches, you know, like actual on the game where they sit on the rink. You know, we do that a lot, and I know you guys in the UK don't adopt that tactic, but look, they do it in tennis, they do it in every other sport. So, and I think it gets a lot of criticism for the player should know what shot to play. A lot of the time for us, if, you know, in the World Singles Final, when Steve Glasson was sitting as my coach on the rink, it's more about support. You know, it's not about me asking him what shot to play. It's a shot will come up and I'll say, I'm thinking about playing this. He'll just say, yep, go for it, and back me, you know, and that's what it's about. It's just that shoulder to lean on, someone to sort of have a chat to.
Yeah, like I say, it was interesting that came from somebody that played tennis, so they'd obviously been noticing in the game of bowls. It's not a regular feature having a coach
red.
at the side. Well, again, bowls just dropping short. It seems to have been something that's happened throughout every game here so far.
Greg on this forehand coming back to the commentary box is quite a big swinger. He's getting back quite well there to the line.
Two
That's
red.
a very good bowl from Greg Harlow.
Your last bow? Your last bow is 15 inches gap.
And Greg's playing with his Henselite Tigers. I know Tony Webb's out there with Drake's Pride Professionals. Most players are seeming to pick a swingier bowl out there, Karen. I think it's a little bit more reliable on the surface.
Well, Tony's very well down here. That's a great shot. Perfect weight. 2 down. Draws the
One
shot.
green. Just slightly past, about half an inch.
Well, Greg looking at his options at the moment. It's a forehand draw by the looks. You want to be just missing that front green bowl of Tony's around it just to get on the inside of the shot bowl. That's the hand to do it on, Janice. It's got a bit of give, just got to have the perfect weight.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing about that hand, Karen. If you're not perfect weight, it's a bit unforgiving. Greg was under the weight there, so the bowl swooped away.
I think on the draw, it's really good. As soon as you've got to convert on it, it's a bit tricky.
Well, Tony repeats his last delivery, rests his own bowl. Perfect track.
Just needs the run. What do you think Greg will be looking at here, Janice? Do you think he'll try the same shot or play through his front bowl?
Well, he's always been fairly aggressive a player. His middle bowl in the rink there would take Tony's out. Yeah, he's gearing up for that. Got a chance of a 2 or a 3 if he gets it perfect. Needs to go with quite a bit of weight to hold. This is going to move now. It was a
Well,
fortunate result.
that was on though. We got the plant through onto the shot bowl.
3 shots, Greg Harlow.
Wow. Very good result.
An excellent result. He was just a bowl tight, but he was in the area
Set
and he
score,
had all the
6-2
bowls at the
after
back,
4
so
innings.
worth a try. See Mrs. Potter's in to watch Greg. Greg works for Potter's Resort now as their bowls ambassador, and his boss is in the corner.
Well, he better play well. Judy will be looking for him to play a good game here.
Might have sent the jack off.
Oh,
Yes. Seen that a few times, Karen. It skims across the surface, the jack. I was saying earlier, we don't really practice jack delivery when we're out there practicing.
I know. You sort of, I haven't rolled a jack since I've been out there practicing, and I rolled one this morning. I thought, oh, I haven't actually practiced this yet. The jack can run at different speeds to the bowl on the rink, and to be able to get the jack to exactly where you need it is really important.
Jack length, 27 and a half metres. 27 and a half.
And again, we see a bit longer length. Greg's up 6-2. He hasn't pulled the mat up or gone short yet. So while you're winning, you might as well keep on the length that you're winning on.
Just under the line here on this backhand, away from our commentary position, with a good lead bowl. Nice crowd in here. Great place to play bowls at is Potter's Resort. Very appreciative crowd.
One red.
Well, you certainly know with the crowd, Janice, whether it's a good bowl, if they clap or not, if it's anything sort of, outside 15 inches, no, there's no clap.
And if you put a bowl a yard away and they clap, you know it's just sympathy.
Yeah, they're a hard school, the crowd, and I can understand they get to enjoy seeing the best
red.
players in the world play well, and they expect nothing less. It's
Yeah,
interesting what you say, Janice, with some of the top players going to the more bendier models of bowls. I know I started
One red.
using aero grooves
the gap
in
is
the
12
first couple of
inches.
days when I've been
Your bowl's
practicing,
10
and I've
inches.
just tried the Sonics. They're just that little bit wider, and I'm loving them. Yeah, really taken to them. So for me, it's not what I would normally play with at home. So I don't know any better or any different. I can sort of chop and change and see what works. So, but for some of these players like Taddy and Paul, they might always use grooves and just stick with what they know.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting comment that, Karen, that obviously certain players are in certain manufacturers' stables and they're tending to go to the swingier bowl within that stable. But there are a number of players that have said, well, I'm used to playing with this set of bowls out there, I'm sticking to it. It's your own choice. There's a pool of bowls here at the World Bowls Tour.
One green.
Obviously, a lot of players have their own red and green sets, but when you're travelling your sort of distances, putting two sets of bowls in your luggage is not ideal.
No, I had four sets of aero bowls waiting for me when I got here, which straight off the shelf, a red and green set of Sonics and a red and green set of grooves. So I just trying those, and yeah, they certainly make sure that we've got the right equipment.
Greg's just overplayed that. Chance for Tony here now. Could get to his own bowl, rest it down, just get past it. He would pick up two of the shots he needs to get back into this score line. Looks down a very good track.
He's on a handy road here. Needs to get down a little bit.
Just hung out.
Weight wasn't too bad.
One shot, Anthony Webb.
Just
Okay.
looking up at
Score,
the scoreboard
6-3
there.
after 5 ends.
Tony just needs a little bit of momentum and win back-to-back ends here to get himself back in this first set. Still plenty of ends to go.
Yeah, we played two sets of 9 ends with a possibility of a 3-end tie break. Still got 4 ends to go of this first set.
Jack length, 27 metres, 27.
Down a good line again here, Tony.
Really needs his first bowl to be an effective bowl. He's sort of been lacking that over the last few ends, and that's a great start from Tony. We'll be happy with that one.
We were talking about deliveries. You don't get much smoother delivery than Greg Harlow's. Looks effortless.
Yes, and that's the result. What's the hardest bowl in bowls, Janice?
I think on the portable ring, Kenny's sort of a runner.
I would say to do it again. Like a really good shot like that from Greg's, the hardest bowl in bowls is to do it again.
Normally for the likes of people like Greg Harlow, they can though,
Second
Karen.
bowl
That's
is-
true.
The gap is 7 inches.
Certainly where your consistency comes in, being able to repeat something like that.
It always makes me smile in matches when you're playing triples or fours and somebody says to you, same bowl, and you think, I can't actually physically play the same bowl, it's already there. I'll try my best. Close here. These will
That's-
swing all the way back.
And that's the hardest bowl in bowls. Do it again.
Two perfect bowls. One off either hand as well. That's
Oh, attacking shot here from Tony. It's on the money. Fantastic result.
normally known as a drawing bowl. Saw him in practice testing out the drive. It's quite a accurate piece of equipment, that drive of Tony Webb's.
He's certainly got the one wood out with that one. Greg just contemplating which side of the rink he's going to draw to the jack here. Looks like he's going inside out.
Yeah, it's slightly further over than the re-spot. You can see that at the bottom of your screen. Greg does play with very big swinging bowls. And that's not a bad effort, just a couple of foot
One
short.
And for our viewers at home, you can see those two yellow markers on the back of the rink. So the signage boards are really only 2 feet or maybe just under those marks. So they're not able to get outside the boundary line to come back into the rink, which makes it a bit tricky.
To be fair, when you were talking about the hardest shots to play, it was one of the things that my fellow commentator Darren Burnett pointed out. When the jack goes outside of where the re-spot is, it's tough to get to.
I think you mentioned in this morning's game, Janice Neal Furman practices that a lot, and he played a couple of really good bowls to the spots. I know this jack isn't right on the re-spot, but it's certainly the same width from the centre line.
Yeah, it just gets
Greg's got
gives you
good
an
weight on
idea. Great bowls from Greg there.
Two shots, Greg Harlow.
Interesting looking at the scorecard here.
Set score, 8-3.
Greg's
on
counted
6
every
ends.
end playing towards the commentary box and playing towards his boss there, Judy Potter. He's lost every end playing away from commentary. So every time he's tried to set a jack in the direction he's about to play now, he's actually dropped the end, but he's only been dropping counts of 1 where he's been picking up 3s and 2s. There's Judy there in a nice blue jacket.
Jack length, 26 metres, 26.
Absolutely loves her bowls here, Karen does, Judy. Big fan of the game.
I used to be a big fan of the Potter family puppy dog when the last few years I've been here. Chase, his name is or was, I'm not sure whether he's still with us anymore, but yeah, big old Labrador.
Yeah, he used to come and sit in and watch.
Yeah.
I've not seen him this year. Not had a great deal of opportunity to speak to Judy or John in details. This year I've been in this little black box for a while, Karen. They won't let me escape it yet.
1 green.
Martin Page has just come through on the live chat. Tony obviously doesn't practice your drive draw drill, Karen. It's one of our Australian squad drills we have to do is drive at a bare bowl and then draw within a mat length. Well, Tony again has got his first bowl roundabout, which is a good sign.
Yes, and Greg's put 2 bowls short. Like you say, a lot of players do
Just the one.
practice
Your last bowl
routines.
is just under 2 feet gap.
Neil Furman certainly has a particular practice routine that he sticks to, and it's paid off for him. Greg needs an adjust of weight here. Just going under again. I really feel Tony needs to slot another shot in here though. 5 behind, 3 ends to play.
Yes, he definitely needs a multiple on this end, that's for sure.
Looks a good track.
Yes, I don't think he'll want this one back. Very good, Tony Webb. Oh, that's perfect. Well played.
2 green.
Some of Tony's clubmates are in the crowd from River Rain, whose indoor club. Busload of people in, which is great to see.
Yes, he certainly said there was going to be a coach load in from his club. It's nice, the very vocal supporters.
Where can you hire some
Time out
supporters from? Busloads of supporters,
Greg has
Janice.
4
Do you know of any?
I think
'Cause
we need to go and have a
some.
word with these.
I wonder if they charge much.
Greg's very popular though here as well with being the ambassador of bowls. I think there'll be a few in the crowd supporting Greg.
Well, Greg's only an hour or so away at Ely Indoor Bowls Club. Same club as Ellen Faulkner, and is Nikki still at Ely?
No,
Nicky Brett?
Nick's moved club now.
Okay.
Gone to play with his daughters.
Who are going very well, I believe.
Yeah, good players. I was just thinking about home crowds. I've got to face Mervyn King on Sunday morning, and I know he's well known for getting good local crowds in to support him. I'm just hoping that might be a few out there for girl power.
Oh, I think you'll get a couple, Janice, for sure.
Well, Tony, big chance here, holding 2. Can you draw for 3? Got on a very high line. If he's perfect weight, it'll make it all the way back. I think he might have just overplayed this. Disappointed with himself there.
Line was very good too.
2 shots, Anthony Webb.
Yeah, 2's good. Multiple is what he wanted.
And again, he's counted
Set score, 8-5.
playing
after
away
7
from the commentary position. So this is the end that Greg normally counts. Often find that very interesting with scorecards. So that means that the player sending the jack isn't winning to his own jack length.
Well, 3 shots in 2 ends is certainly gettable for Tony. If Greg wins one of these ends, though, it's certainly going to make it hard.
Yes, vital end this really for
Length,
both players.
27.5 metres, 27.5.
Greg scores at this end. It closes the set out on Tony. Tony needs to really pick up. 2 shots would be ideal to take him into the last end, only 1 behind. Great lead ball from Tony Webb there.
3 ends in a row. His first bowl's been very good. Well, I've got a supporter in Christine Haswell. Thank you, Christine, on the live chat. I've got 1 UK supporter. Yes.
Higher crowd has started.
It's a fairly good reply from Greg there. He's probably 2 bowls short of the jack with reasonable line. He won't be too unhappy with that start.
One green.
Into the way with Tony there. He'll be disappointed with that. Greg looks on a very good line again here. Not sure whether this is making the trip either.
Pressure's on. Well, Tony really needs to add to this shot bowl that he's got at the moment. Put some pressure on Greg. He looks to be good.
Better track all on his weight.
Needs to run. Yeah, that's a great shot.
Don't think Greg will be short at these.
No, I think he's going to be up to this. A very good hitter. It's Greg Harlow.
Looks down a very good line.
Yeah, he just needs contact now. Oh, that's handy.
Yes, it swooped under very quickly. Mike Davis just chalking the touching bowl there in the ditch and marking it.
Well, that jack's still in bounds. That's going to be an interesting jack to play to. Tony looking at inside out. I think that's the only way he can go from what I can see from the commentary box.
Yeah, we might get another shot of this off our ditch cam to give us an idea. Definitely played under the line.
Needs to stay in bounds. I think he's played it fairly well from what I can see.
If it stays in, it's got to stay in those yellow lines that are the confines of the rink. Mike Davis just having a look at it here. It's out.
Greg drawing outside in.
Not a lot of pressure really on this bowl for Greg. He only has to beat the short green bowls.
Probably could have played with his left hand with that one, I reckon.
If it's 2, it's set over. Having a good look at it. Well, umpire being called out. It'll be a measure against the bowl that's being chopped currently and the bowl that's in the ditch. When it's measures with strings like this, both the umpire and the marker have to be part of the measure. Now they go to the bowl in the ditch. Yeah, Yes, quite easily in for 2.
And of course, the string measures are always good. When the bowl's in the ditch, it can go easily
Two
over
shots
the
in the
ditch.
first set to Greg Harlow.
Yeah, I think Tony was right to call the measure there, though, Karen. He's just had an unfortunate end, didn't go quite his way, so it just gives him a few more minutes to have a breather. Great crowd here at the Just 2017 World Indoor Bowls Championship at Potter's Resort here.
We've had some great chat and some great questions on the live chat, so make sure you keep your questions coming in if you've got any questions for Janice or I on anything about
Jack
bowls,
Lane,
which is
24.5 metres, 24.
you know, anything on mental side of the game or technique or practice drills and things like that. We're more than happy to answer your questions.
Yeah, and anything on the rules, we'll attempt them for you, and if we can't, I know we've got a couple of the umpires tuning in that can help answer the questions for us.
I think I'll be leaving the umpiring rules ones to you, Janice. You can take them.
Normally fortunate, because normally Dan McManus or Alan Thornhill are tuning in and can help us out with those ones, Karen.
Mr. Thornhill, someone's got a question. Well, 2 very uncharacteristic short bowls from these boys in the opening end of the second set. Jack length's a little bit shorter than what we've been playing.
Yeah, this bowl looks slightly under the line again.
And a shout out to Jerry Hart, who's on the live chat. Hi, Karen. All the best from your pals at Crookston Bowling Club. Still talking about the Australian team's visit during the Commonwealth Games. Thanks very much, Jerry.
One of the questions that's just come in is about bowls manufacturers. There's several out there. Got Henselite and Drake's Pride bowls out on the rink at the moment. And of course there's Taylor's, and somebody's just asking about what we think about the new kids on the block. Bowls Aero, and it's great to always have new manufacturers
One
on
green.
board. So
Break
it
last
means that we
ball.
have
The
4
gap
main
is 9
manufacturers
inches
now,
and
Karen,
about 8
involved.
inches past Jack High.
I think in answer to Andy Thompson's question, and I'm sure it's not the Andy Thompson, but at the moment, the Australian dollar is actually going quite well. So I had a discussion with Greg Carlo about this the other day, and I know that the Aero bowls and the Henselite bowls are about on a par, or about maybe 25, 30 quid, maybe
green.
more than Drake's and Taylor's at the moment. And that's probably due to the Australian dollar going so well. So obviously both of those manufacturers, Henselite and Aero, are both made in Australia, and that is the reason why for that.
Well, Greg having to play a runner here. Just under the line.
I hope that answers your question, Andy. Who's featuring in our game tonight? Janice, we've got,
We've got Robert Paxton,
yes,
and
Billy-
he's
Billy
facing
Mills.
Billy Jackson.
Billy Jackson, that's right. Yes,
So again, we have Drake's Pride versus Henselite tonight.
okay. That should be a very good game.
Yes, I think when you looked at the first round games, Billy Jackson, of course, former world champion here himself. He's won the world
shots,
indoor
Anthony
pairs with David Gawley in the past. So very, very comfortable out there, Billy. So it'll be a hard task for Rob Paxton.
Yeah, should make for a very good game.
And I will have my feet up watching that one, Karen, because this is my last commentary for this event.
Well, you probably deserve a nice glass of wine and your feet up, Janice.
That's the plan.
Do the commentators like trifecta colours? in answer to your question,
Gap
Anne,
length 27.5 metres.
we do have quite a lot of trifecta colours out in Australia. They're more so manufacturing what we call the lunar trifecta in aero. So they're more like a speckled trifecta as opposed to the flat coloured trifectas, which, they're not as popular, I wouldn't think. Popular with the young guys in Australia, but they don't sell as many as the lunar trifectas, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that's the same over here, Karen. I see the ones that are just the plain colours. There are still a few sets about, but I know some people have a problem with the flashing of the lighter colours as they go down the rink. I think the ones with the speckles, I have a number of friends that play with them. They look quite good.
At home, I play with a colour called Purple Haze, so they're purple with pink and white sort of speck through them with silver glitter paint on them.
Wow.
They're very blingy. I don't know that they've taken off as much in the UK as they have in Australia, but they're very popular over there.
That sounds very interesting. I like a bit of sparkle.
Why not?
Well, Greg's certainly drawn a very good shot at this end again. It's coming back towards the commentary box. These two boys out there are keeping up the form on the scorecard. Greg scoring towards the comms, Tony scoring away. Well, Tony's turned his back on that bowl straight away. Yeah, he's short. This is a very loose end from Tony Webb. And when you do that out there, you get yourselves in all sorts of problems. We've all done it, all had a loose end. Left himself a lot of pressure with his last bowl.
Generally all starts with your first bowl, doesn't it? You generally struggle if you don't get your first one there. And Greg's just rubbing it in here. Really making Tony pay for a bit of a loose end. You know, he had such a great start in the first end of the second set. Needs to come up with a really big bowl here. Second shot would be very handy here for Tony Webb. I tell you what, he's on a great track here, Janice. Needs to get down.
Close.
Oh,
One red.
well, that's very good. I'd be more than happy with that.
Your last bow? The last bow. It is 20 inches past jack high.
We had a question earlier on the chat about master bowls still being used. And as I mentioned before, I've always got a man who can at the end of the text, and Dan McManus has come back with the answer to the master bowl question. Yes, each bowl must fall within the parameters set by World Bowls for the bias of a bowl. Hope that answers your question.
One shot, Greg Harlow.
Thanks, Dan.
Set score 1-2 after 2 ends.
And we're off to another close start in this set, 2-1. We've had some questions about some training drills and things, Janice, and one of the most common ones that I use
Jack length 29.5
is
metres.
one we do in the
29.5.
Australian squad, which is called a consistency drill, and all you need is a set of bowls and a mat and no jack. So you pick a side of the rink, you put your first bowl down as close to the centre of the rink as you can. That then becomes your jack, and then try and draw your next 3 bowls within a mat length of that first bowl. So what it encourages is certainly rhythm, consistency, you know, being able to repeat an effective bowl. So it needs to, your delivery needs to feel the same, get it away the same. And, you know, if you draw one really good bowl, you should be able to do it again. So it's all about rhythm and consistency, and it's not rocket science. It's just, you know, a drill that I do, you know, you vary your lengths, but you always stay on the same side of the rink. So you play forehand up, backhand back, vary it between long lengths, short lengths. But it's very good for for your grouping of your bowls.
Yeah, you often see at clubs, players tend to play practice to a jack. I'm one of those that don't take a jack on for practice, and players will come up to me at the club and go, "Why, you can't play, you've got no jack." But I tend to find as well, I skip a lot in domestic
3
things
inches.
over here, Karen, and I'm very rarely playing to a jack. I'm tending to be playing to a position or a bowl, so therefore I want to practice where my bowl's going to finish within a rink's confines. Tony needs to reach with this.
Oh,
One
cut
red.
one of the red bowls out. Line was very good.
Sorry. Tony's last bowl, the gap is about 13
One
inches.
of the questions that we've had in is about the ladies' World Match Play singles. It starts on Saturday. The mixed pairs is on Friday. The singles is on Saturday. We don't have a ranking for that because it is part invitational event. There are a couple of qualifiers that can be won to get there, but that is a ladies' invitational event, whereas this is the main open singles. So if you were a lady and you qualified for this, you would
Two
get
red.
ranking points. It's an open event, not a men's singles, this. That's why you've got 3 qualifiers here. In ladies, Julie Forrest, unfortunately, has already played and lost to Stuart Anderson. Debbie Wilford from New Zealand, qualifiers. She plays Mark Royal. And I have the joys of facing Mervyn King on Sunday morning. But no, the ladies is a separate invitational event. Hope that answers the question.
And Christine Haswell's asked, Karen, what size bowl do you use? And what will you do with the ones that you're using here if you're not taking them home?
I think that's an excellent question,
It is,
Karen.
Christine.
Do you think
Size
that's
2.5
hint?
for me. Size 2.5. Normally had played at a size 3, or went down half a size when I went to Aero, which was just that fraction smaller, which was good. So, and in answer to your question,
3 red.
I'm sure they'll be on the shelf at Aero ready to sell once I've finished using them this week.
Well, Tony's in all sorts of problems here, Karen. Line 3 against him. He's got the opportunity to reach,
Timeout called.
to try
Tony
and
has
plant the
4
jack
timeouts
through
remaining.
to his back bowl. As you see there, if you could get onto Greg's bowl to the left of your screen, or bowl in the middle, it's got a chance of pushing the jack through. There's not really an easy draw on.
The split between the 2 red shot bowls is on for sure.
I think he's played this under.
Perhaps a fraction underweight.
3 shots, Greg Harlow.
Well, that's a real blow for Tony.
Set score 4-2 after 3 overs.
Well, again, Greg not going for the shorter jack, sticking to the longer length, and it's the first time he's picked up any shots going away. He's messed my scorecard up. I had a nice,
Jack
pretty
length,
pattern
26.5
working out there.
metres,
That's no good,
26.5.
Janice. He's probably just thankful that he won one going that way.
Yeah, he was beginning to think he was jinxed, perhaps.
Well, Greg, for me, his first bowl's certainly been better than Tony's in this game, I think, and that's been the key, as is evident with his first bowler on the 4th end of the second set here. Just a little bit more consistent on the draw, I think.
Yeah. Tony's tended to drop his first bowl that little bit short. Looks on a good track here again. Can it run?
1 red.
I'm quite enjoying this live chat here, Janice, with the computer on the side of the desk here. Karen, are you in form? Asked Darren Parks. I need to know who to put in my accumulator. Darren, can I get back to you Friday afternoon on that after our 10 a.m. game? Let you know.
Well, Greg's looking down a very good track again here. This forehand swoops back.
Well, he's certainly playing well, is
Too
Greg
right.
Harlow. He's just so consistent.
And Tony needs to try and stop the rot, so to speak. Get one in the head.
Definitely the one with the front measure for.
Okay.
Unfortunately for Tony, short bowls have been the killer in this game.
Yeah, Greg's down a good track again here.
Well, that's very good.
One red.
Still just the one, but the head's totally in Greg's favour at the moment.
Just want to give a shout out to Barry and Stephen, who are the twins that always come and watch at Potters, Janice. We gave them a couple of pink BCIB caps from Australia a few years ago, and yeah, I'll miss seeing the boys. They always come and enjoy watching the bowls at Potters.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them in August. Karen, taking over the role as the Deputy Competition Manager for the Special Olympics, which is in Sheffield this year. And I'm well aware that Barry and Stephen are two of the favourites, certainly for the pairs in that event.
Well, we wish Barry and Stephen very well in that event, as all the other competitors. And thanks, Dave, for your question and shout out. It's great to see the boys come and enjoy the bowls here at Potters.
Yeah, not sure whether they're coming down this year or not, but I certainly know I'll be seeing them in August. Just give a bit of a plug there if anybody wants to get involved with the Special Olympics bowls. Just have a look at the website. There's a volunteers page there. Come down, it'll be a fantastic event to be part of.
It was a good hit there by
Four
Tony,
shots, Greg
but
Harlow.
not to his favour, unfortunately.
Set score, A2 after 4 ends.
Well, that was a massive result for Greg. Tony got the wrong side of the jack. Now means that Greg leads 8-2 in this second set.
Jack length, 29.5 metres.
29.5 metres going full length. Answered one of our earlier questions about how the carpet's playing. Yeah, question about the ladies' game there breaking into the events here. Yeah, they are very, very hard for any qualifier to come through, whether you're male or female. So a lot of people don't believe that this is an open singles, but if you go to the qualifiers, there's quite a few of the women have a go. I firmly believe it's the place to play because you get to play against the top players. Get a bit of success, get a bit of a run in one of the events, and you can get yourself into these World Bowls Tour ranking
Yes,
events.
one down.
I know it was certainly one of my ambitions in bowls was to qualify, and I managed to do it. So All you have to do is find out where your local PBA membership is, become a member, and you two could be out there playing against the likes of Greg Harlow, Mervyn King, etc., etc. You had a good run in the open pairs a couple of years back, Karen, so it is possible for ladies to get through in things.
Yeah, we certainly did. I played with young Ben Twist, who's played over here quite a few times at Potters, and actually we only just lost the final this year to come over and play in the open pairs draw, so certainly achievable for any bowler. I think just the experience of being here and playing here, you know, like it's the opportunity to play and see these guys play is amazing. And, you know, for me, I love coming over here. It's, you know, it's just about the experience and playing on the rink and playing against fantastic players. You know, it won't be around forever for me, I suppose. You know, in a few years' time, I could be doing something different. So why not take opportunity and do it while I can?
Yeah, I certainly believe anybody out there that plays bowls, it certainly improves your game as well. Join in, have a go. I think he's underplayed this again, Karen. A lot of short bowls from Tony. I'm sure he'll be cursing those after the game.
Yeah, just hasn't quite got the weight of the rink in this game.
Good wide track from Greg here.
Well, one down's not going to hurt him, I don't think, Janice.
One green.
Still one green. There's not a lot on for Tony apart from the perfect draw. Greg's got it all surrounded at the back. Yeah, just to confirm the questions that are appearing on the chat, it is the Professional Bowls Association. Certainly all the countries that are represented here, the qualifiers have come through their associations. Well, needs some sort of contact. He went for a very risky bowl there. I suppose it was worth chancing at this stage of the game.
One shot, Anthony Webb.
Set score 8-3 after 5 ends.
If you do enter the Professional Bowls Association, you get to play in the World Qualifiers, the Scottish International Open Qualifiers and the International Open Qualifiers, which gets you to the TV events that are currently on the schedule. Obviously the World Bowls Tour are looking to add events as and when the sponsorship becomes available. Sponsorship is not an easy thing at the moment to get. We're very grateful to the sponsors we currently have. Shorter jack here, Karen. Definitely trying to shake things up.
Well, at this stage of the game, why not? Try something different.
Perfectly smooth delivery off Greg. So very good track here. And Tony Webb's not managing to shake him off at the moment.
Greg's just beating him to the jack. Looks a bit better with this one. It's Tony.
I think he might have got shot.
One green. It's almost, it's about 3.5 inches.
And Janice, is it Saturday that the television sets up for the games on the...
It actually sets up on the Sunday, Karen,
Sunday.
and starts broadcast on Monday. We're still, of course, with all the bowls on YouTube here. Viewers, if they can't get the BBC, will be able to pick up all the live matches on YouTube. But yes, they normally rattle in on Sunday.
Very good. I know
Correct,
how
well,
a lot of the
gap
bowlers
is
in the
2.5
UK love
inches,
watching the
and it's about
live
6
bowls.
inches short of jack high.
It's a big thing.
It's been great that we've been able to do this over the last couple of years. It means that you get to see these qualifying games. Andy Weir just asking about who are playing the main draw. Mervyn King, local man, good friend as well. Looking forward to the experience of playing him. Played him a couple of times before at a club called Lincoln, so we'll be giving it my best.
And of course, you play Katie Smith in the World Match Play singles.
Yeah, that's correct. I play her on Saturday. Off the top of my head, I can't just remember your draw for the singles, Karen.
I have Amy Stanton.
Yeah.
Mm.
Qualified at Bromley. Amy, I've got Amy in the mixed pairs.
Good effort from Greg, still one down.
1 green.
8 good lady players here on Friday for the mixed pairs and then for the match play singles on Saturday.
I've been paired up with one of my, I just think this guy's a legend, David Goulet. I've been paired up with him. I just totally admire the man. I think he's amazing, great role model, been a fantastic bowler from a fantastic bowling family. I'm very excited about playing with Davey on Friday.
Yeah, I had the joys of playing with him last year. Lovely person to play with as well, very supportive. Nearly got his 2 there, Tony. Thanks for the good luck messages. As I mentioned earlier, once this game's finished, you lose my dulcet tones or Lancashire last tones in commentary.
1 green.
I'm going to put my feet up for a while and get myself into bowling mode, but it's been wonderful being with you for the last week. Well, Greg, ends are counting down now. Doesn't need anything too spectacular. He's in the area though. I might have actually given 2 shots away there.
2 shots, Anthony Webb. Set score 8-5 after 6 ends.
Well, the first set score was 8-5 after 7 ends. Tony's got a few more ends to play with here. He's brought the mat up again.
And it's great that the bowls has been on YouTube, I think, Janice, for all my mates at home and bowling members and things from Australia. Everyone's asleep at the moment, so you can actually go back and watch previous games during Australia's daytime and worldwide for that matter.
Yeah, that's been the joy. We've had people tuning in Mexico, Alaska, all over the place. It's been quite amazing where we've had viewers. And the nice thing is, with it being live on YouTube, we do get people tuning in that have never even been involved with bowls, never watched it before.
Great opener from Tony. Oh, big cheer from the crowd. The River Rain members. They'll be happy with that one.
Yeah, well, Tony's still got a chance. He's only 3 behind, 3 ends to play.
Certainly has, Janice. This game is not over yet.
Greg looks very close here.
Mathematically very possible for Tony. Never give up.
Good
Oh,
trick
it looks good again.
Yeah, all on his pace.
just over the yard.
Well, Greg really just needs a good second shot or the shot on this end. Nothing too fancy.
Looks close.
He's got good weight on this. Close for
One green.
second. Now one it is.
Greg's last bowl,
Yeah, he did the job then. Got second
Inch
bowl,
past
that's what he
Jack High.
wanted.
Janice, a question. Is there a prize for 4 touches in one in this year? Again.
No, it's been won a couple of times in the past. It's won by Robert Paxton the first year and Jonathan Ross the year after, but no, it isn't in existence now. As I mentioned before, trying to get sponsors is very hard work for any sport. We're delighted we can get the sponsors we have and the coverage that we get. Sometimes things like that we just can't fund. Good ball again from
one
Greg.
green.
A sigh from the audience, but Greg will be happy with a decent second bowl.
And Roger, in regards to your question about who picks your partners in the mixed pairs, Janice, you might be able to answer that one.
Yeah, it's drawn, it's just drawn. The 8 ladies that get into the match play are drawn off against the 8 men that are the top 8 in the world rankings. I assume if there's a lady in the top 8 of the world rankings, there would be a man invited somewhere along the way. I did have that
Two
question
green.
the other day, Karen, so I'm just covering my back with that. The only people that get paired up automatically again from last year are the defending champions, Darren Burnett and Catherine Rednall. In every WBT event, if you are the champion, you get the right to defend your title.
Timeout called.
So when you say they're drawn,
Greg
are they
has
drawn
3
out of the
comments
hat,
to make.
Janice, or are they...
Yeah, no, I believe so. It's all drawn out of the hat. Look at the draw. Just like yourself, I'm really looking forward to it this year. I've been a friend of Andy Thompson's for many years. I think he's one of the legends of the game, certainly of the English game. I'm really looking forward to playing with Andy Thompson.
I'm really looking forward to playing with David Goulake as we're the same height. So that's...
Oh dear, I like that. I think that's an interesting reason. And Greg, 2 down here. Bit more aggressive, I think. Down the forehand.
A little bit of pressure here for Greg. He's on the money here, though. Oh,
Oh, now that couldn't have gone worse.
that's
That
disaster.
could not have gone worse for Greg.
Wow.
3 shots, Anthony Webb.
Oh, dear. What a very unlucky result for Greg Harlow.
Set score 8-8 after 7 ends.
Well, it was a bit like the 4 that Tony dropped at the 4th end. Both have been very unfortunate with the runners. You almost say after the event, Greg would have been better to leave that alone, but it's a funny old game sometimes. 8 all, 2 ends to play. This set, Anthony Webb has got to win
Jack length.
to take us to a
24.5
tie break,
metres,
but it's more on the
24.5.
cards, even more so now, Karen. Big chance.
We've got some people laughing that Davey and I are the same height. And we've both got a funny accent. Well, that certainly changes things in the game here on the second set of this first round of singles for Greg Harlow and Tony Webb.
Yeah, we've already seen a number of seeds bite the dust so far. Greg looked all in control of this game until that end, to be honest. Better bowl here.
Just needs to run.
That seemed to pull up very quickly then, Karen. I thought that looked to be running well.
Well, who'd have thought 3 ends ago that the score would be 8-all?
We always said that Tony had chances, but I didn't expect him to pick up 6 shots in 3 ends. Needs to run with this.
Just that little bit short.
One red.
Don't forget, if you have to leave us, it's only a couple of ends to go, I know, but the results are on worldbowlstour.tv. And we have another game tonight at 7:30.
It's your red.
Features Robert Paxton and Billy Jackson. Really needs to get a bowl in here, Tony. He's gone back to his being short with his first 2 deliveries, which normally means you overcorrect. It's looking good. He made it.
One green. How many time is Greg got left?
Greg
3.
just checking whether he's got enough timeouts to come up to the head or not.
Well, that's the bowl that Tony needed. He's come from the clouds here in this second set. And Greg looks a little bit, tiny little bit frazzled, Janice. I think I can
Timeout call.
understand he's
Greg has
being
2 timeouts
deflated
remaining.
after the jack going forward in that last end.
Yeah, he needs to just focus here. There is room to draw this. He has won the first set, so whatever happens, he knows he's got a tie break, so it's worth just trying to play the draw here. Gearing up for a reacher. He's obviously had to look at the plant as well, Karen.
Yeah, he's got good chances here. Oh, that's not the one he wanted. Solid or just around it would have been good for Greg. Well, Tony Webb's really turned this game on its head. Chance to draw another one here. Looks like he's got a little bit of a spring in his step too, Janice.
Yeah, the crowd's firmly behind him as well. I think that'll always help the case.
And Chris Gale's just come through on the live chat. He's back home. Good luck to the rest of the players in the competition.
Good to know you're home safe, Chris. Thanks for your company. Really enjoyed the charity game the other night, Chris. See you soon.
Slightly favour yours to measure, though.
Just asking Mike Davis which is second bowl.
Clock running down. Down to 6 seconds. And gets it away with 2 to spare.
And he's close. He's very close here. Needs the 1-2. 1 and got the cap. Well,
One shot, Anthony Webb. Set score, 8-9 after 8 ends.
Well, hasn't this game certainly changed around, Janice?
it really has. I never expected that Tony Webb would be going into the last end of this second set ahead. Means really it's a bit like a tie-break end though, Karen.
Jack
For
length,
Tony, if Tony
24.5
wins it,
meters,
we go into a
24.5.
tie-break. If Greg wins it, he wins the game, because Greg only needs a tied set.
Well, it certainly will be interesting if Tony happens to win this set, because he is the player that will have all the momentum going into the tiebreaker. But as we know, tiebreakers are anyone's, aren't they?
Well, exactly. It comes down to just one good bowl can win you a tie-break end. Greg's got a bit of room here. Just overplayed it. Opportunity again for Tony. I'll answer that quick question about the clock that we've had through on the stream. The marker is not operating the clock. He just turns on and off his microphone to give us
4.5
information.
feet.
He's got a microphone pack on the side of his belt. The shot clock is operated by the third umpire, which in this case is Dan Blewett, who's at the back of the stands. He watches to see when the bowl comes to rest. For example, if Greg's here when this red bowl comes to rest, he'll press the button and the clock in the background there will start to count down. There you go, just started to count down there. That's why we have 3 of our officials on duty in every game, and there's 1 spare. We operate with 4 officials at every event.
Oh, he's trying here. Might have just overrun
red.
it a fraction. Still 1 red.
1 red.
Very quick, Mike Davis, to say 1 red there.
It's 6 inches short of jack high.
And of course, the timekeeper also keeps account of how many timeouts the players have had too, doesn't he, Janice?
Yeah, that's correct. They can let you know how many you've got left. You've got 5 within the first 2 sets to take any time you want. You can take them back to back if you want.
You can have 5 in one end if you want.
You can indeed.
Oh, there's another one.
2 red.
Well,
that-
this puts pressure back on Tony again. As it stands at the moment, Greg Harlow will take his place in the second round. He won the first set. He's holding the win of the second set.
Timeout called.
Well, even if
Anthony
Greg
has 2
was to
timeouts
hold
remaining.
on to one of those shots, he would win the match after winning the first set.
Well, this from Tony Webb to stay in the tournament.
Backhand draw, Janice, you think?
He needs a slight adjustment on his last one, Karen. His line looks very good. What's his weight like? Will he be frightened and overreach? Urging this on his crowd.
Needs to get down. Oh, don't think he
Not
has.
sure that's made it.
Oh, what a
Shaking hands
fantastic
time,
effort.
I think.
No, I think Greg
2
has it.
shots. Second set of the match for Greg Harlow.
So Greg Harlow takes his place in the second round here at the Just 2017 World Indoor Bowls Championship. Thank you for your company, Karen.
Thank you, Janice.
Thank you all for your company over the last 7 days. I'll leave you in the capable hands of the next commentators. Enjoy the rest of the tournament, folks. Thanks so much for your company. Janice Gower signing out.
Pleasure to send you your afternoon session. Enjoy your evening meal and don't forget to take all your...